Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly incredible story. It's got everything: blind trust, unyielding greed, and honestly, one of the most brilliant, satisfying sting operations you're ever going to hear about. We're going to break down the exact mechanics of a ruthless betrayal and see how pure strategic thinking delivered an absolutely perfect dose of karma. Beat him until he is unconscious. Okay. Let's dive into this, because that is the exact terrifying order barked out by a powerful village leader. And the target? A completely innocent, hardworking guy who was literally just asking for his life savings back. So, why in the world would an honest man be brutally attacked for claiming what's rightfully his? To figure out how we ended up at this shocking moment of violence, we gotta rewind to the very beginning. Section 1, Drought and New Beginning. So, to really understand this betrayal, we have to start with our main guy, Bhushan, who was forced to flee his devastated, drought-stricken village just to survive. Which brings us to Section 2, the earnings of honesty. Homeless and hungry, Bhushan manages to approach a wealthy farmer named Jagat Seth, basically begging for any job he can get his hands on. And he's handed a monumental task. We're talking about caring for a massive herd of 100 cattle. That means mucking out waste, feeding them, watering them every single morning and evening. And his starting pay? Incredibly humble. Just 200 rupees a month, plus a couple of free meals a day. Since he literally has nowhere else to go, Bhushan asks for just one small favor: to sleep in the cowshed with the animals. Now, it is a foul-smelling, really tough living situation. But Bhushan, he takes it without a single complaint and just pours his soul into the work.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how Bhushan's integrity triggers a direct cause and effect. Just look at that jump to 400 rupees. Because he takes such meticulous care of these animals, the cows actually get healthier and the milk quality and quantity shoot way up. Jagat Seth absolutely notices this exceptional dedication, and boom, he instantly doubles Bhushan's salary.
Fast forward a few years, Bhushan finally saves up enough to build this tiny, clean little hut for himself, thankfully escaping the stench of that cowshed. Through painstaking, relentless labor, he manages to squirrel away a total life savings of 5,800 rupees. Now, in his world, this is an absolute fortune. It represents every single drop of sweat, every early morning, and basically his entire future.
Section 3, the Zamindar's betrayal. Because, with wealth comes anxiety. And a well-intentioned piece of advice is about to turn into a total disaster for Bhushan.
So the village is dealing with a spike in thefts, right? Jagat Seth tells Bhushan he should store his money with the local Zamindar, a powerful landlord who everyone thinks is super honest. Bhushan meets him and just hands over his entire 5,800 rupees in a pouch. When Bhushan asks, "Hey, do you want to count it?" the Zamindar smoothly brushes it off, saying there's no need, totally faking this aura of complete blind trust. But watch what happens 2 years later. When Bhushan asks for his cash back so he can buy some land, the Zamindar's mask just slips right off. Suddenly, he has no idea who Bhushan is. He demands stamped paper proof, the exact documents he deliberately didn't provide when he took the cash in the first place. When a desperate Bhushan literally falls to the Zamindar's feet, crying and begging for his hard-earned savings, the Zamindar just calls him a fraud. And this brings us right back to our opening hook. The Zamindar orders his guards to beat Bhushan with sticks until he's unconscious. He's thrown out onto the street, bruised, broken, completely robbed of his life savings, and left unable to even get out of bed for 2 whole days. It's brutal.
Which leads us to Section 4, the Seth's master plan. When Jagat Seth finds out about this horrifying truth, he knows a direct confrontation just isn't going to cut it. He needs a trap.
And this brilliantly illustrates where psychological warfare completely beats brute force. Jagat Seth devises this genius 3-step sting operation. Step 1. Pack a suitcase with a staggering 5 lakh rupees. That's 5,00,000. Step 2. Approach the Zamindar, pretending he desperately needs a safe place to stash this massive fortune during a long out-of-state business trip. And Step 3. Have Bhushan arrive at the exact perfect moment.
Section 5, the Trap of Greed. The plan goes into motion, and Jagat Seth walks right into the lion's den, totally playing the part of the subservient fool.
He totally inflates the Zamindar's ego, telling him he's the only man in the entire village he can truly trust. Then he pops open the suitcase. 5 lakh rupees. Look at this massive fortune on screen. It is the ultimate bait. The Zamindar's eyes just light up. He genuinely thinks he's just caught a massive fish. He assures Jagat Seth that his money will be perfectly safe, while inside his head, he's already calculating exactly how he's gonna steal this enormous sum once Jagat Seth leaves the state.
But right as the trap is set, Bhushan walks into the room. He demands his 5,800 rupees again. Now the tension here is absolutely incredible. Jagat Seth is watching like a hawk. If the Zamindar beats Bhushan again or denies having the money, Jagat Seth will know for sure the guy is a thief, and there's no way he's leaving the 5 lakhs. So the ultimate question hanging in the air is, will the Zamindar's immense greed for the 5 lakhs force him to give up the smaller amount?
Well, the answer is yes. In a split second, the Zamindar completely flips. Terrified of ruining his chances at stealing the 5 lakhs, he acts incredibly sweet to Bhushan. He's apologizing profusely, blaming his guards for the quote-unquote misunderstanding the other day, and he instantly hands Bhushan back his entire 5,800 rupees, loudly proclaiming, "I am a man of my word." Bhushan quietly takes his money and he leaves.
Section 6. The fruit of honesty. So, the crucial point is, the very second Bhushan is safely out the door with his cash, the jaws of the trap are about to violently snap shut.
The Zamindar turns back to Jagat Seth, just salivating to get his hands on those 5 lakhs. But the execution here is rapid-fire perfection. Almost immediately, Jagat Seth's servant bursts into the room. He frantically announces that the traders they were supposed to visit, they're actually coming to their village instead. Jagat Seth fakes this look of pleasant surprise. "Well," he tells the Zamindar, "looks like I won't be taking that trip after all. No need to leave the money here." He calmly picks up his suitcase of 5 lakhs, thanks the stunned Zamindar for his honesty, and just walks right out the door.
Leaving the Zamindar standing there with absolutely nothing. He lost the 5 lakh bait, and he lost the 5,800 he'd already stolen. When we step back from this explainer, the takeaways are just so powerful. Bhushan's honest hard work ultimately brought him security, mainly because his integrity earned him the fierce protective loyalty of Jagat Seth. Meanwhile, the Zamindar's ill-gotten wealth was completely fleeting. It proves a really powerful psychological truth. Unchecked, ravenous greed will almost always blind a person to the traps set right in front of them.
It is a literal masterclass in using someone's own toxic traits against them. Jagat Seth didn't need violence to get justice. He just needed to deeply understand his enemy's greed. Which leaves us with a final thought to really ponder as we wrap up this explainer. If you were facing an insurmountable injustice, pushed entirely into a corner by someone way more powerful than you, how would you cleverly turn the tables?